Obviously, just for you, the journey to getting pregnant and having a baby was a journey in itself. Just what's it been like to just be a mom now, to have this big blended family and have everything that you kind of wanted for all that time there?
It's amazing. I feel like I have to pinch myself, even though, there's hard days, sleepless nights, and constant worry as being a new mom. I feel so blessed. I feel like I'm living a dream life. I feel so lucky. I have the best husband, amazing stepkids, the most amazing son, and we're a big blended family, and it's not always perfect, but it's my version of perfect, and it's so great. I feel so, so lucky. Throughout my pregnancy, when I finally did get pregnant, I was just realizing that there's just so much that we don't know. And I wanted to learn everything. And even though there is so much information out there and it is overwhelming, that's why I came up with Snatch to talk about these things, normalize a lot of these things. And while I do have a newsletter, it's also a private forum for women to join
Yeah.
and chat it with each other and ask questions. And I have experts that will lead live Zoom calls talking about and educating women on fertility issues or postpartum depression or sleep education for your newborn. And I didn't really have any expectations when I started Snatch. I just kind of was like, let's see. I was just throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall. Let's
Yeah.
see what sticks. And I really feel like our Snatch chat, our private forum is really like our bread and butter. And that's where our women kind of come together and we do live Zoom calls, kind of like mommy meetups and asking each other questions and just kind of like complaining or confiding in one another about new mom life or fertility issues or whatever it may be. And so, yeah, that's kind of the long-winded answer to your question.
Obviously, you've been very open and vocal about your WWE departure and how, all of that went about. They've obviously had women come back from pregnancies before. It's not an unusual thing. What do you think made your situation different? Was it the drop foot where, hey, I can't come back and wrestle and now I have to be looked at differently? What do you think made that maybe a different situation for you and them?
I would have to assume that that's what it is. I didn't get any reasoning or answers. And like you said, there have been women who were under contract that had babies and came back. There's only been a handful of them, though. And there are plenty of women who are there who are moms, but there's only been a few who have had a baby under contract and come back. So that's why I wanted to speak up on it because I felt like I said, I was completely blindsided. I had no idea. And I had expressed interest in going back. I wanted to go back. I tried to go back, even in a different role, even though I couldn't wrestle, I tried to go back. But that's at the end of the day, business is business, and I respect their decision. Like it is what it is. That's what they decided. And at the end of the day, my career had to come to an end at some point, right? I can't wrestle forever. I can't work in
Yeah.
WWE forever. It's just to me, it was the way it ended that was just kind of left a little sour taste in my mouth. I was just a little confused by that. I'm not like at all disparaging WWE. I respect their
Yeah.
decision. Business is business at the end of the day. And hey, if I didn't have a baby, maybe I wouldn't be working there. Maybe they would have released me by now, or I would have like my contract would have run out prior to when it was supposed. Like when I my contract would have run out if I didn't have a baby, right? So like
Right.
maybe they would have renewed it. So I can't I don't know because this is the reality. This is the truth of what happened. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I respect their decision. And I just feel like it's a sign for me to kind of pivot and figure out what is next. And to me, that's really focusing on Snatch.
Has anybody from there reached out to you since you've talked about it to say, hey, this is kind of what's gone on, or just or is it still been kind of radio silence on their end?
Yeah, just no one has reached out. I mean, of course, like my girls, like the talent, and
Right.
like they've reached out. But yeah, no one has reached out to me since.
How do you look back on your time there where, obviously you were a cheerleader first, you're a manager in NXT and you get to a point where you do become a world champion there.
I mean, I have so much gratitude for my career and the path that my career took. I feel like I was underestimated from the beginning, and I was so grateful to prove everybody wrong and prove myself that I can do this because I feel like a lot of people kind of looked at me as an afterthought. I was a manager. I was just kind of like a cheerleader, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, I'm here to work. I'm here to make it to the top. And I did it in short order. And I feel so grateful for that because I didn't come from independence. I had no experience prior to getting hired by WWE. And to do that as a girl who's a cheerleader from a small town and make it to the top, I'm so grateful. And to make history and to be a part of a company. I mean, I loved my time in WWE. I loved working with everyone I worked with. I have nothing but great things to say. And it's such a great experience. And can say like they traveled the world and got to be on television and work with their best friends every day. I met my husband there. I mean, I have such great memories, and I'm so grateful that I got to be part of the women's evolution and be part of a lot of the first ever matches for the women. And I mean, it's like I'm so blessed.
What's the, I guess, physical challenges of trying to come back from drop foot, and where are you right now in that kind of recovery?
So my day-to-day life is very normal. It's just the thought of like, even if I try to run, my foot sometimes gets caught on like whether it's the pavement or dirt, because it's difficult to lift like if I'm lifting my feet, I can lift this one up and then this one doesn't go quite as high. So it's just you can't control it as much. I was going to physical therapy, chiropractor, like so many things. Um, and it's just not where it needs to be like running and be, I mean, God, WWE is like the hardest thing I've ever
Yeah.
done as far as the physicality is concerned. And for me, it's not just about me and making sure that I'm healthy. Another girl's life is in my hands, and like
Yeah.
their body is in my hands. And to me, I take that so seriously. I pride myself on never hurting anybody in my career. And I would not feel comfortable getting in the ring with somebody if I wasn't 100%. And God forbid they got hurt or I wasn't able to support them the way I'm supposed to or do something the way I'm supposed to. I would not be able to live with myself.
Do you worry that you may never wrestle again? That if you go back, it might have to be in the other roles?
Um, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't worry about that. I feel like whatever's meant to be will be. And I truly feel like I'm on the path to getting back to where I need to be.
Okay.
It's just taking longer than like I anticipated, and longer than even the doctors anticipated. But I do feel confident that someday I would be able to.
At this point, with the way things ended with WWE, would you be open to working for kind of other companies when that time comes at that point?
So I'm not like a never say never person. To me, I do feel such loyalty to WWE. I love my time working there. If I ever went back, I would hope it would be for WWE. I would want to go back as Carmella and moonwalk my way out there and be in a WWE ring. I do feel like that would be my home. Um, but I'm not gonna say never, right? Like who knows what the future holds. I don't want to become a hypocrite.
Obviously, in January, he sent out a tweet that kind of, set the world on fire a little bit, that kind of voiced a little displeasure with how things are going in his career, with going back to NXT. Just, I guess, generally as a wife, just what was it like watching him kind of go through that week and some of the reaction to that?
I am so supportive of my husband. I feel like he's such an incredible talent. He has so much passion and so much love for this business, and I will always have his back. I feel like he deserves everything. I mean, and I'm as most wives feel about their husbands, but I just feel like he deserves nothing but the best, and he is incredible at what he does. He's one of, if not the best commentator WWE has, maybe other than Michael Cole. Um, and he's just incredible, and I support him no matter what.
You had mentioned that you had talked about working with a tag team at some point. You want to say which tag team you were thinking about working with?
Well, I pitched to work with Pretty Deadly. That was my
Okay.
idea. And I had reached out to them first, and they loved the idea. They were all on board. We came up with different ideas and pitches and storylines. So that's when I was talking to the head writer about,
Right.
uh, these ideas that we had of they were doing a musical at the time and pitching this musical, and then the musical was gonna bomb, and then I was gonna come up and show up, and I was so excited. Like I just felt like it would have been the perfect mesh of all of our characters. I love working with characters like with R-Truth and James Ellsworth and just, the most ridiculous, like to me, the more ridiculous, the better. And they're so all about their character that I just felt like it would have worked so well. And everyone was on board. Everyone really liked it. So who knows? Maybe someday in the future.
Were you going to save the musical?
Well,
Or
I don't know about, and then we were thinking, like when I was talking with the writer, we were like, maybe I will be a part of the musical. I'm like, I've always wanted to be on Broadway. Could I be in the musical? And he's like, well, maybe. It's like, I just don't know what the filming, if it will work out, like timing wise. So, I mean, the ideas we're coming up with were just insane. But I mean, to be part of a WWE musical, that would have been ridiculous. But Carmella would have thrived under that.